$16 for that. Y'all go kick my. Not gonna say it.
Hello, YouTube. I hope we're live. Let me see. Hey, it's working. All right. Please pardon my allergies today. I'm sneezy. Dopey's out sick today. Kidding. And who the heck knows where Snow White went?
No idea.
No idea. Check the Disney Princess section of your local Spirit Halloween store. Man, this ES is just volatile. Man, that's some stripes.
And they are expensive. They don't. They show you a different price when you're looking at them.
Oh, the options, yeah.
When,
And then you go
they show
click
you a
on
different.
the limit order setting, and it comes down a little bit. It's kind of weird.
Oh,
Whoa.
really?
Yeah, like you go to the next stage, and you go to like set your limit order, and it'll show it as a couple pennies lower. It's like if it shows 12 on the setup when you build it, and you go to open up the next part where it goes to show you the limit order, then it just changes a little bit.
Does. Yeah, still not enough.
Yeah, not
Still
enough.
above $10. Oops, what's this going on? We got the report coming out. Here it is. Wick there. Let it shake out.
Yeah, I threw $1 at a dollar or $2.50 widespread on Microsoft, expiring on the 4th. Bought the 265, sold the 267.5, and it's just barely breaking even.
Why are you doing that? There it is.
Wahoo! Wait for the bounce and then short it. Sorry.
$10 with a maximum profit of 1,300. Are you kidding me? Does that sound right to you?
That doesn't sound right for a dollar wide. What's the strikes?
Oh, never mind. Something's wrong.
Ah.
It's got me. I got one too many. That's what's
Oh.
wrong.
Yeah, the ratio.
I have something somewhere that I didn't know I had. I got to go close it out. Okay, it's that one right there. Bam. Okay. That's what the problem was. Gee, it's only $3. Now it's only $1
Ugh.
for today. It's only $1 for today, or $2 now.
For a spread on
It's
Amazon?
no. Q.
Oh,
No,
Q.
Amazon was just it just was a hypothetical. I was just trying to. It just used it as a. It was right there in front of me.
Gotcha.
This is for
Ugh.
wait. It says review. I don't. How do I cancel it?
You can just hit the back button.
Well, it's asking me if I want a credit or debit.
Oh, so you got to select that. So if you're buying this to open or you're paying for premium, then it's going to open as a debit. Yeah, don't click credit
Are
on
you
that.
expecting to? Are you expecting to receive a credit or pay a debit for this option?
So if it is a debit spread, you are expecting to pay a debit for this option. Oh man, I'm riding riding this red
It's
wave
asking
right
me
here.
right, but it asked me if I want to receive. So that's why I was wondering.
Oh,
Let me
gotcha.
just close it out and come back in. I missed the entry anyway.
All right, that was a hell of a breakover on everything.
Yes, it was.
I went short at 38.51, and I'm pretty happy right now.
Yes, you are.
I got my trailing stops, 16 ticks there. It just nailed them all. Damn, that was quick. I meant to hit the exit button, but I didn't get there fast enough.
You hit my trailing stops too.
So I went short at 38.51 and closed at 38.40. So it's not bad. It's an 11 point move, man. I'll take it.
That's good.
Or
How
sorry,
many contracts?
sorry, it's a 9 point move. Just running with the MES in this volatility, so it's just a couple MES contracts.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Meta
That's
is
$90.
Heck
Meta
yeah.
is in a crazy channel right now. It's just not going below that 99
Yes.
30s.
HTCR is a dud too. Meta. Let's see what we got for dope on that one. It's going to follow yesterday's range. That's what it's going to do. American Airlines popping up. Oh, double bottom on the MES. There it is. Nailed target 1. About to nail target 2 at about 38.48. That is a 50% retracement of that previous downtrend. Didn't quite hit. It went south at 38.46. I don't think it's going to retrace anymore. Oh yeah, it is. It's building a rising channel. That is the third knock on support. Come up to the midline. I can't draw it fast enough on a 10-second chart. Looking like a half morning star on the 1 minute for SPY. And let's see if it breaks over at the 8 period. Yes, it is. Awesome. Oh yeah, baby. There's your channel break. There's your 50% retracement right at 38.40.
Oh, yeah. Looks like we're going to bear out here for a minute.
Booyah.
Apple's up.
I was looking at Apple and Microsoft. Let's see, is it going to break that 50% and keep going? It is. Sweet. Oh, there it is. That was the 50% retracement. Now we're bouncing. Okay, I'm out.
American Airlines is starting to look a little manipulated.
You think? It's one that it's interesting because they still have some revenue and circulation to keep their business afloat, even though they're short of pilots and stuff. It's going right into travel season. So the anticipation was everything was bullish going into travel season, but at the same time, they still got some issues in the background with maintaining revenue or cash flow. So I think they're going to have some cash flow problems, and some of the woes are going to catch up to them for having cash flow problems. Just kind of a glance at fundamentals that I sometimes take.
I can tell you that I think they suck, and I never fly them.
Yeah, me neither. But if you look at the
American Airlines.
if you look at the daily chart,
Yeah.
you can see it's just a rising channel, and it's breaking right now today. So you got 1, 2, third tap on angular support. I'll just draw it.
Good. I still got my put open. It can drop to 12. I'd be happy.
Run it, because we're going at least
There
to
it goes.
1385. Run that put, baby.
It hit 1382 in pre-market.
Yeah, it did, didn't it? See, you're gonna get paid on that put finally. Ugh. Allergies suck.
I just want one big green candle on Meta. It's
Right.
not. It's not leaving that range.
No. It's gonna grind out.
At least until next week, I think.
And I'm thinking we'll start being able to find some swing trade setups next week. Might be able to find some today if you're brave enough to enter them, but I want to see what this opening range does up till about 11 o'clock first before we get too excited.
And you don't want to do swing trades now because of the volatility?
Yeah, the implied volatility is going to be too high for most things up till about the middle of the day today.
Yeah, the Meta call I had got crushed already.
Yeah. It's like
It's only at $6.
You can be in the
Yesterday
right.
It was
What was it yesterday?
at $100 yesterday. I think it had to be at least at about like 103. Today it's at like 75.
Oof.
Paid 70 for it.
Yeah, it's amazing how that IV crush can just take it out, even if you're in the right direction.
I love you, Jeremy. I said it
You making money?
in a stock market kind of way.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a stock
yeah,
market kind of love. We have a musician. He's gone now. We used to have a guy named Jerry Jumonville. Great sax player. Played with all kinds of people. And he used to say, I love you, Stone, in a jazz kind of way.
That's cool.
Yeah, I took profit. I did.
Very cool, man.
I did. I scalp option. I scalped option. I've been sitting here looking at Robinhood going, oh, put this down. Just go get some money right now.
Yeah.
I'm still learning it. It's like, okay, and I'm one of those people. If you got a copy machine and the old days and you're trying to copy something, it's like, do I put it in the top way so it gets that side of the paper, or do I put it in this way?
Right.
So it's like, do I buy it here and sell this one? Getting it. It's coming. It's been a great week, man.
Heck yeah. This has been an awesome week for volatility, and it's been anybody who's got a little notion of price action trading can really do well on weeks like this.
What did you scalp, Stone?
I scalped the IWM.
Ah, nice.
I did 2 of them. I did one when we went bullish earlier, and then I waited, and I got in on this 1 minute candle. I got in on the second leg, and I just scalped the candle. Not much.
So, like, you want to look at 0 days.
I'm just getting base hits right now.
0 days and time decay. Look at the high low on a $13 put on forward expiring today. High was 13 cents, low is 2 cents. Right now the bid is 3 cents.
Wow. Crazy. Yeah, I hurt myself when I went into options. I've been digging myself back out ever since. I should have taken that damn thing on QQQ. I couldn't figure out what the hell I was doing.
Oof. Well, I'm riding
And
short.
the last time it told me, oh, there it is. That's what I'm looking for. Where are you?
I'm riding short at 38.37. I'm about to close it here in the bottom when it touches VWAP.
That's not it.
Oh, never mind. That's going to go right through VWAP. Watch this pull back, though.
You watching VWAP on the MES?
Yeah.
Or SPY?
MES. some reason, I got an old
Q-
Static X song stuck in my head this morning.
Victoria, if you're there,
Yeah.
check out QNGY.
Uniform, November, Golf, Yankee.
Quartz. November, George Yankee.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I'm
quartz.
terrible at that. Quartz,
Okay.
yeah. Whatever. What would we say phonetically for that?
Quebec.
Quebec. Yep.
Quebec. Thank you.
Yeah, so
That's it.
QNGY. Okay, thank you. Cheers, Stone. I'll take a look at it. That looks good.
Listen, take a look at that one and capture it, because that's what a really good pre-market looks like, and it broke its high in the market and it's continuing to go.
Okay, so what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to put a little trade on and then set up the 2-hour candles to plot my lines, then look at the patterns in the 5 and 1 minute candles. Seem like a plan?
Seems like a plan.
Okay,
Find
great.
your targets before you put a trade on.
Yeah, all right, yeah, that's what I was planning on doing. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm not sure if this one's going to run much further, but what it's done in the first 45 minutes is what I like to see happen in a penny stock.
So this is a good example of today, what's happened in the pre-market overnight, which is what you'd ideally be looking for in a good penny stock to trade, yeah?
Exactly.
So study this one. Right, I got you.
Right. You're welcome.
All right, there's a 50% retracement of that descending channel on Q, or on a SPY, and on ES. Just wicked up to it. Watch for a breakover candle.
Oh, maybe it's because of that. Let me go see.
This is that formation we saw before, where this looks a lot like a bear trap too, though, so kind of pay attention to this. You get these rounding tops, and it'll come back and test critical support and then print a tweezer here. Sometimes these will pull back right to the key pivot, which is 382, and then they'll run into a measured move to the upside. Even though it looks like a bearish reversal, they don't always follow through with a bearish reversal. Sometimes they'll follow through with a measured move up to the upside, which is about a 385 target.
Yeah, the 5-minute chart on SPY, that 382.08 that it hammered into pretty much. That was the close on the 26th. So, and it's approaching the market maker high. It's at that 382.60 was it. Now it's hitting the top of that range. So yeah, I can see this.
Yeah, it's going to nail the Globex, dude. 38.55 is coming right now. Those rounding tops are tricky, man. They look bearish, but they're not always bearish.
Right. Look at that. Mm-hmm.
Cool stuff.
Man, oh man, look how pretty that was. I didn't even see that. Looking at too many things at once.
American Airlines just V-bottomed on the one. I
See
should have
that.
gotten out with negative $1 loss.
That's where learning seeing those wedges and getting those candlestick patterns and seeing where your moving averages are and the pivots at a point when it hits, you see it hitting something that you can go, oh, I need to get out of this. It's going to do this.
Right.
Yeah, I
One
just
in
don't
doubt. Yeah,
mark my charts yet, so I have no pivots on it.
you're going to get there. It takes time. We're in a descending channel there. It looks like we're about to break on QQQ, which is pretty much the same thing probably happening on SPY.
Yeah. Oh, Q's lagging it?
I got to go see SPY. I'm looking at a 5-minute on SPY. Let me get my
Oh, yeah, very similar.
1 minute.
It's already peaked up over to the resistance point, though.
It's already, yeah, it has. So let's see what it does there.
I think SPY will retest that 382 support again one
Yeah.
last time, and then it'll bounce out of it.
Yeah, SPY's starting to look like an inverted head and shoulders or
Yeah.
cup and handle. It's giving us that pattern.
Well, we've got the breakover, little double bottom with a reach lower. Came through R1, nailed target one.
Mhm.
Pull back, watch for it bounce off the 8 period or right about at that pivot, that 382. Yeehaw. Oh, man.
Be a bear a little while. I mean, a bull.
Might have to.
How much in the pre-market did you scalp? Did you scalp during the pre-market on the MES? I'm just curious.
I was a little busy this morning.
Okay.
Wish I could have.
Is that a FOMO?
Yeah, a little bit. I was
Wishings of missing out.
I was looking at it and I'm just like, oh, I want to be in this, but I got too much crap to do. So I ended up doing the crap I needed to do. Here we go.
And the cool thing about the Robinhood account with the options 3 there is that at night I can sit there and play with it and figure out, like, yeah, I hit the buy here, I did sell here, and then it gives you your your little ratio of your max profit, max loss.
Yep.
And
Very useful.
it kind of yeah, I could just sit there and do that. I mean, even though the market's closed, it still lets me know, oh, this is how you it's the mechanics of it. It's learning a different broker again.
Right.
Just a little bit, but and also getting in my mind to realize it's the same thing. It's price action. It's just a different way of entering your order, basically.
Exactly. Whoa, tweezer.
Yeah, I see that. Let's see.
Watch for that test, that 382, and then watch for a real hard bounce there. But yeah, I love being able to test it, and then also you can queue up your orders in the middle of the night. It's like you can see
That's cool to know.
what's going to work and like look at your price action, watch your futures overnight, and like by about midnight you kind of get a good idea of sentiment for the ES, and you're like, okay, well, if this starts to break
Ooh,
over
don't you.
here, this is where I'd like to be in on the options chain, and then you can set your limit order and just have it ready to go.
These are top on the 1 minute on the IWM. Very interesting look right now.
Yeah, this is either going to
Looks like
set
we're going
up
bearish.
a quick pullback to
Let's
that
see.
382, or this will pen it, touch about 382.30, and bull flag out into a measured move.
That's the pullback right there.
Yeah, it's off the
I'm
8
sorry,
period
I'm
right
looking
now.
Yeah, I was looking at IWM. Actually, it's funny. They're looking different, so they're not the same. Man, I love having a price line to watch.
Yes. Oh man.
Hmm. That was right.
Would that look like an ascending triangle as well?
On the ES.
On the SPY? No, because that wick is gone too far up, right?
Yeah, that's too far up. So this is a pennant. So we're likely to set up a measured move to the upside and touch that 384 pivot if it gets off the 8 period here. And notice the Bollinger Bands are just curling out to the upside. But give that a minute to shake out. Let a couple 1 minute candles close because it can still come back and test that 382 pivot. And if you look at this as a rising channel here, that would be about a 50% retracement.
Uh-huh.
I'm green again today. Let's see if I can maintain that.
Heck yeah, just hang
Good
on
job. Yeah.
And then the hardest part is resisting the urge to overtrade between
Yes.
like 11 and noon.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing is over trading.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what happens. But you're getting it. You see, you know what you've been doing. What's half the battle of solving any issue with or problem? Knowing what the problem
Exactly.
is, and
Identifying
that's good. So, yeah,
and
you
addressing
can
it.
work on that.
That discipline is very key.
Yes.
This has been the most challenging thing I have ever done in my life. I thought I had this whole discipline thing down, didn't I, Jeremy?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, yeah, if I perform in front of people live, improv and music, I got my emotions and everything down. I have never experienced the emotional uproar I have had with this before in my life. And so I'm like, okay, I hunker down and I'm gonna win. I'm determined I'm gonna do this. So I've had to change a lot of stuff in my life to and evaluate and reflect internally. And I guess I didn't have my emotions down.
It's amazing how much you discover about yourself with this. I mean,
Ooh,
it truly is.
greed? Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't realize I had greed in me. I had
Yep.
to get rid of that. Okay, there we
Apparently,
go.
like,
Bam! Nailed
apparently
that.
trade is worse for men because men associate more emotions with resources, i.e., money, and that is linked to their status. So men find it worse than women when they think that they're going to lose something. That's why
Right.
men experience more fear of missing out.
And that's why women are better traders.
Yep.
Apparently so, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a woman, because I don't believe in all
No,
bullshit.
No.
But apparently,
I
women get more affected by their relationships being threatened. Men are more
yeah.
affected by their status and resources.
Ah,
I agree.
Right.
that's well. I was going by what they were saying statistically because of the emotions,
Right.
and that's why I said it. So yeah, so you're on your way.
You got this.
No, but I've had some highs and lows today, and I'm really playing with your money, man. It's like maybe I'm just not your typical woman. I don't know, but yeah.
It's funny. That's a double bottom on that 1 minute on IWM. Never mind. It's a total different look than what we have everywhere else. That's great. Thanks for that this morning, Victoria. So the what we talked about earlier at that 382 when it hammered on it and it gave us that 5 minute looking Morningstar look. Sensei, 382 was it.
Yep. Just like that.
So we might be bullish again.
I think we are. We're setting up a big measure
Oh.
move on all of this. And I think,
I'm so bummed out.
hell, we just nailed 384.11. I mean, just boom, smashed it. That was such a
I've been
big
wanting
push.
to be. I want to be a bear.
My trailing stop got nailed on that little pullback when it did wick up to there, but I went long at 38.47 and took profit at 38.52 with the trailing stop. And then I went and got back into it long at 38.54.
78 cents if I go there to there.
And my trailer is set up as a bracket, so like I set take profit at like 500 ticks, and trailing stop at 16 ticks. That seems to be working pretty well
500 ticks.
today, anyway.
16 tick stop.
Yeah, 16 tick trailing stop. Bam! I just got nailed again on a 16 tick.
Yeah.
But it's about
Jeremy, are you sure you're human?
It's about the size of the pennants that we've been seeing. It's about 16 ticks from top to bottom of the pennant. So I figure if it hits the high in the pennant and pulls back to support, it'll kick me out with my trailer, and then I can decide whether I want to go into this pennant on the break, or wait for a break over.
Right. Boy, that sure is looking bullish.
It is. Watch for a little pullback here, though. I think it'll wick right
Yep.
to about 38.57, maybe.
Pullbacks do happen.
Unless it breaks that high, it'll try to wick first.
Yeah, we looking at strangles last month, and we talked about getting in when I was drawing that range box, and I did that little video by getting in at the top and getting in at the bottom, top for puts and bottom for calls. That entry is so important in options.
Yeah.
It really, really is. And yeah, I'm glad I corrected that bad philosophy.
It's important to
And
know.
it is.
It's just like a bracket order based on what you're thinking or what you're thinking you're seeing. You know what I mean? And then you just really break it down to programming. It's if this then that. You know?
If this, then that. Exactly. So it's like, and you get it down. Once you get the entries down and realize, wow, okay, boom, that's what the options switch for me, I said, has been a challenge. But now, we're starting to get it. And I keep listening to Jeremy and ask him some of the same questions, and I feel stupid asking him sometimes because I'm a moderator. I'm a moderator.
Marauder. That's a good way to say trader right there.
Yeah, but I don't give a rip because I'm here to learn and take profit just like everybody else, and I might be a few steps ahead of y'all, but Jeremy is definitely a few more steps ahead. So So I guess what I'm saying is keep asking the questions.
Absolutely, please do.
I'm still amazed though at your transition from scalping the options to now. You're doing this to the futures daily.
Yeah. It's
I think
incredible to
that's just
feel that way.
inspiring.
Oh, hey, the blind
Especially when
traders
you're
joined
like,
us.
yeah, I made $5 or $560 on a mistake because Tradeovate went offline.
It doesn't tell me what time you left that comment. Yeah, that was sketchy. I was definitely in need of a change of underwear after that, but it was all the good. And
Wu-Tang here. Let's see.
I wasn't like in panic mode because it was only a couple MES contracts. But if that was ES contracts, oh man, I think I'd had to change more than my underwear at that point.
How much are we talking about?
So I ended up making like about $550, $560 on that deal. Because my account like locked out while I was short 2 contracts, and then all of a sudden I couldn't get back in to take profit on that big red bar after the close last night, and it ran down and then it bounced back up with a wick, and it almost touched my entry, and I'm like, oh well, I hope I can get in soon so I can at least cut a loss on this, because if this thing bounces like a mofo, I'm screwed. And then it kept running down, just lower and lower and lower, and then it printed another bar, a half measure move bar down below that, and I was just like, okay, well, this is cool. I guess they can lock me out now. And then they finally let me back in. I'm like, all right, cool. I can just sit here with my hand hovering over the button like I normally would, and I waited for that little pullback, and I'm like, okay, out. And then I went and hit it again short, so it was beautiful. It was scary, but beautiful.
I'd be sweating. For
I did sweat.
He was sweating. We were all sweating for him.
But I pulled a screenshot of what it looked like. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. And my dog is yelling at me again. Dang it.
I just heard him.
He's upset.
He's been mouthy lately.
Yeah. There it is.
If you're gonna be home all this time, I want more attention.
I don't know what his deal is. He's been fed. He's been watered. He's been walked. He's been let out. And here's a picture of that trade last night. That's what it looked like.
The topping. Da 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 da.
can't quite put that on. I guess I can show that to the people out there on YouTube. Somehow.
Hello, YouTube.
Wonder if I can.
YouTube. What are you doing, YouTube people?
I guess I can drag it over. No. I'll figure something out. Hang on a second. Just to
wait a
kind of
minute.
show you guys.
My tool there. Ow.
Let me,
Oh, that's 50% retracement. Maybe we going back down.
I guess I can just do this. Since I'm sharing a screen, I can just go whoop. Bam. Click on my image.
Tweezer top was been getting there.
That's what I was dealing with, man. That long green line was me being locked out of my account. And I was riding this short, and right about this time is when I got locked out. And then that's when I saw that coming back up to about where my entry was. And then I saw it just rip down. I'm like, cool, I can live with this. And then it ripped down some more. And right around this time was when I got allowed back into my account. And,
So how long were you out of your account for?
Oh, what was that? About 15 minutes, maybe? Something like
A
that.
little while, yeah.
And then I just rode it with my hand over the button and waited for this. Hit it here, and then this picture was taken, and I went short again on the break there and rode it even further down. The weird thing is it didn't used to let me trade after the closing bell up to 6 o'clock on the futures. And it was kind of interesting because it started letting me do that all of a sudden. I'm like wondering, well, maybe they updated it or something. Maybe that was the delay why they closed the account, because they were doing an update. Bad time of day to do it, but whatever. But I noticed that when I went short again, the day margin on the required margin for the position, like tripled. I mean, it was massive. It's like I could, doing a couple contracts. If I was doing a couple ES contracts, it would have like just about maxed out my risk. It was crazy. Anyway, that's a sneak peek of inside of our Discord channel there, guys. That's our chat, and then we have our voice channel where we're all hanging out and talking stocks and trading.
And then in the Discord, you can create your own little journal so you can track your trades.
Heck yeah.
And there's lots of things you can do.
I'm making a nice collection in there.
There you
I'm
go.
proud of you for doing that. That's just awesome. I'm so glad to hear that. I was blown away when I found that I could do it.
I'm trying to figure out a way
Hey,
to.
Jeremy.
Keep everything right there in the Discord.
Yeah,
Hey, Jeremy, I have a question for you.
sure.
So, if 385 is the Globex high from yesterday,
Mhm.
how do you determine whether or not you think, I guess, the probability of the rally going up through that Globex high and then challenging R2?
Okay, so essentially it's just as simple as sticking a pivot there, and that's what these horizontal lines are on my chart. And you can go back. Well, this is a 1 minute chart. I'm going to go to 5. You can go back into yesterday's close. Wait a minute. Why am I not seeing that? Oh yeah, it changes. So looking at SPY, it's a little different, but I was able to kind of transpose it from the futures to SPY, and that's where this pivot is showing. And it's strange that it showed up to be the same as the Globex high for the ES futures. But that pivot I've had there for a long time actually, and it just marks the extension on this diamond pattern here from yesterday. And going back even further, I think I had it marked to a zone for a control candle somewhere in this mess. God, that's a lot of dope. But essentially, when you see a measured move like that building up, that is essentially your target one of a measured move. So like when you have that setup where you've got, let me go back to 1 minute. You have a third leg here. So you have your opening from here to here is a second leg of the first measured move from the pre-market here. You have your accumulation, your pullback, your 50% retracement, and then continuation to that measured move. And simply knowing where the Globex high was easy as knowing where that measure move is likely to end up, because you just literally take, like Stone would do a shadow box. I don't do it with Weeble, but you can do it on TOS, and you can put it on here for the range, duplicate it, and move it over here and see that that's your range. So the height of this move is the same as the height of this move. And now here we are, kind of on the ES, we're actually above the Globex high, which was the 384 on SPY. And here we are setting up for yet another leg. But look even closer. There's yet another measured move right here. There's a first leg, accumulation, second leg. And if we get a third leg, we go right through that Globex high, which we're already there. And then we get the extension of about the same height. So let's see here. We got about, let's call that 383 to 384. So we got another dollar move possible here above the Globex high. And it's just as simple as that. You literally just stick your pivot points on the chart and run with them. Wait for the pattern to show you
Right. So
if it's
I
going to break or
follow
not.
you there up to that point, but I guess my question is, at some point, this is supposed to break bearish, I would assume, because the run has been really, really far, and you've had this would be the second iteration of 3 legs that have been happening, and typically after the third leg, they usually break bearish. So at some point, probability is going to say, hey, this is going to turn over.
Exactly. And that's why
I'm trying to figure out, like, how would you identify where that is?
well, we just look at the height of the measured move. So we look at what the leg height was. So it's about $1. And then you can extend to about $1 higher. So like you go from your 384 zone and just plop one up here at about 385. It's not much, but that's a third leg, and typically third legs are half measured moves anyway. So you look in the accumulation from here to here is about $1, and from the base here to here is about $1. If you want, you can kind of imagine also the possibility of being a full measured move, as if this was one move. If your accumulation holds this range for long enough, you'll notice that the length of that accumulation is about the same. If you were to take a set of dividers on your chart and tilt them down to the measured move, it's about the same. Sometimes you'll get a full measured move above that second accumulation point, and it doesn't look like a third leg anymore. It looks like a pair of legs, an accumulation, and then another pair of legs. And that's where you can set your next pivot zone up here at 386. So if that rally is going to continue, eventually it will break over bearish by probabilities. Yes, you get that third flag channel break. All the little rules apply. But until you verify that you're getting a channel break with a 50% pullback, you can keep running with the trend. And that's where the angulars come in. I'm going to
Does
draw
Weeble
those.
have the ability to measure the distance between 2 points, or is that only on TOS?
I think that's only on TOS, if I'm not mistaken.
You can do it with a trend line on TOS too.
Yeah. I thought
Trend
there
line
was
will tell you how many bars and everything.
I thought there was a way to do a segment too. Let me see.
There's probably a few other ways. SIG's got the TOS down to the T.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn TOS because like Weeble has easy charting, and I'm able to manipulate the chart more easily for just me. But then TOS gives so much more information. I just haven't been able to get the tools to work the way I want. Like I started tinkering around with it and trying to plot some points, and the next thing you know, my actual
This is going nowhere.
candles start getting compressed to the center of the screen, and then I can't get them back out, like spread out from top to bottom anymore, and it's really annoying.
What the heck's
Yeah,
going
that
on
is
here?
annoying. I have to think about what I did to get to where I am now, because early on with TOS there was just so much crap I had to fight through to figure out how to get my charts to work, how to manipulate them, how to get them to stay, how to save them. And at this point I have to remember it because it seems like so long ago.
Okay, it didn't close.
There's some TOS stuff in our Discord.
Don't use that one.
Don't use what?
I want to use the poly line here. And
Yeah.
oh, there it tells me on the
Jeremy.
top right. It gives me directions. Okay. Press enter to complete
Jeremy.
drawing. Yeah.
Hey, is there any way you can show the measure?
You
Broke up.
You broke up there.
You broke up.
Now, can you show a measurement without all your extra lines on the chart?
Yeah. I mean, just take my lines off.
Yeah, and show a measured move.
Yep, that's essentially what it is. You get a trend, a pullback, and a trend. And the second trend, or the measured move, the measure you make is the measure of the first trend. So you get the first half of the trend here, accumulation. The second half of the trend, even if it's vertical like this, will usually be about the same price move as the first leg. So we look at the second leg, it actually peaked up here. And then we get an accumulation and pullback. This was about a 50% retracement of the second leg. And then it popped off with about the same height from that 50% point on up to the top. So you have several measured moves today. And whenever you see a trend like this where it's just kind of scooting along, pulling back, scooting along, pulling back, you can see it a little easier on a 5-minute chart. It really stands out. See? Excuse me a second.
Okay, thanks.
Like I had to sneeze and it's not coming. Hate when it happens. My allergies are bonkers today. I'm sorry, guys. Even with allergy meds on board, I'm still kind of sneezing my head off. Oh, man. Sorry if I'm not responsive fast enough on the comments for the YouTube channel here, but I'm trying. Let's see here. And the blind trader, I'd love to reach out to you, man. I think we would have some great conversations together sometime. I've seen you around on Twitter. I know you're good friends with Andy over there. I'm good friends with Andy too. Him and I talk all the time. But it'd be cool to hang out. I guess let me see here. Andy knows me on Facebook. If you want to add me, I'd love to have some conversations with you. Let's see here. Going into forward here, this is interesting now because we're setting up for a bearish measured move. Down just a little bit below the 200 period here. I think we can hit about 1302. Swore I had a pivot there. I might have deleted it in my... Sometimes I'll get to looking at my chart and I'll see so many lines on it, I'll get a fit of rage and just wipe them all off. I'm kidding. Not rage, but you know. You just get fed up with looking at so many damn lines and you're just like, okay, enough of that. Got to clear this off and start over.
Alrighty then. Looks like that's going to be bullish there.
Yep, there's our leg.
What's that range? That range is 28 cents. I'm looking at the IWM still.
And we'll either get that last leg here up to that 385 and then back off, or we can punch right to 386 too. This can be one of two moves.
Yep. That's
Looking at the 30-second chart, that was really interesting because it actually did a gap up, which I had never actually seen on a chart on intraday trading. Usually it's like something you see after hours.
Oh, that big bar. Oh, here we go again. There's an end pattern there on the 30-second chart. But bam. Nice.
Tradeovate didn't just lock him out, Sig. It totally shut down on everybody.
It's shut down, like, for everybody. Yeah.
For everybody. I lost it here. I couldn't get in. It was a glitch that they were well aware of.
And I was Stone here was okay because he was flat, but I was short 2 contracts, and it was it was a sweat fest for a minute there. That could be pretty scary when your brokerage locks up.
Yeah, that was scary.
But it turned out really well. I mean, maybe if I wasn't locked out, I would have took profit too early. Who knows?
Yeah, you can't go break taking profit.
No, that's true. The stars aligned for that one, I guess. All right, here we're expecting a little pullback. In fact, let me go to that 30-second SPY chart. I like that.
The 30-second SPY chart is nice.
Yeah.
So's the 15.
And a 15, yes. I like the 15 too. And sometimes the 5 second. There we go. Breaking that 8 period with an inverted hammer on the 15 second. Watch for a test of support 385 to 29, 385, 30. And a very sharp, quick pullback on that 10-second chart for the ES, I would expect. God, man, these allergies are
Ooh,
nuts.
big push on that candle. 5-minute candle on IWM.
Go, inverted hammer in the 8 period. Come on now. Nope, that's not going to do it. It's going to pop right off that sucker. Little doji, bar, back to resistance. We might get one push to 386 on this. But be aware, that's where, watch your orders. I see a 380 market maker order on the ES chart. That's just kind of sticking out. And 3882 above it, so. Oh, Sig's not on the voice channel, so we got to type it
Okay.
out.
Yeah, I just blew right by what I would have done. That's good. That's a strong push.
Two season count. There we go.
Yeah, might roll over there.
Oh man, now the sneeze is coming. Whew. Yep, I am sneezy today, baby.
Right, look out now. This is rolling.
Turn the lights back on. Oops.
One.
I forgot I was on a 15-second chart. Yeah, that is your
See
third
what
leg.
happens
So
here.
this is, if it's going to pull back, this is where it'll be.
Now, when I exit a debit spread, a call debit spread,
Mhm.
and it asks me if I expect a debit or a credit, what do I tell them?
Expected credit.
A credit. Okay.
Wahoo!
Just want to make sure.
I'm actually able to take profit on that YOLO I had on Microsoft.
Okay, that puts us back above there. Over to there. Where are we over here?
So I risked $1. I got back 2. That's 100% return. Not to mention I had 40 of
That's
those.
good. You had 40 of those?
Yeah. It's kind of a YOLO. In scale. I'm waiting to short Starbucks again. I like that ability to watch that breakover. In fact, let me pull the
That's
chart up on that.
big.
Let me pull up Starbucks because I think we're going to set up a swing trade on that. Bearish. I had it up on my grid earlier, yesterday actually, kind of looking at it in the middle of the day. But here's a daily chart with a big old diamond. Now, we came through the angular support on the outside compression zone. But we've also already come out of the resistance on the compression zone. So if you guys remember what Ford looked like on the 2-hour chart going into that diamond top, kind of a similar scenario, right? We had the breakdown, the breakout, and then it just went poof, kicked over. Kind of seeing a similar setup here on Starbucks. And we know when those diamonds break, they tend to fake one way and rip the other way. Well, this is a tough call with Starbucks compared to Ford, because Ford, we had a clear definition. We had a breakdown, test, breakdown, test, and eventually it broke over when it hit that angular resistance that used to be angular support. So it was a much cleaner sign. Plus, we had a pretty steep trend to retrace, and we nailed the retracement levels on that. I mean, if you look at my horizontal lines there, they were just gloriously right on. Here with Starbucks, it's kind of iffy. It's not as defined. Whoops, let me go back. This chart, not that chart. Go to a weekly. Yeah, I think we can be bears, because we also had on Starbucks, on the weekly chart, let me draw this out a little bit. We had our descending channel. Actually, I'm going to set it back here. This was a little pop out. I'm having trouble talking today because of my allergies. And your trend lines don't have to be perfect. You can fudge them a little.
Nope.
But here we have 1, 2, third tap on resistance, test, and we never want to forget the center line.
Never.
Because it tells us a lot about the move, just like we did on Meta yesterday, which I'll also go over before we sign off. Looking at the regression line, you can see where it was trending down. It hugged angular support, rejected the center line until it didn't. But there's 1, 2, 3 effective taps on support, broke across the center. Easy bull trade, right? Even though it was a bearish trend, it was a pullback that was seen. You knew it was going to happen. So then we had trend down, hold the center line, wick off of it a couple times with dojis, and then bounce out of angular resistance. You can go long and scalp this move on a day. That's not a bad move. My impression was to wait until it tapped that support again and then go long. And I caught the bigger bounce on a bullish swing trade. If you look back in the history on the alerts channel, you'll see I had at one point ran a Starbucks call debit spread. And then I didn't. And then I went short on the break here. So I called out a put debit spread, profited on that, and then haven't touched it since. We watched a few weeks go by, came into a nice diamond pattern here. When it does break, I think I'm going to want to be on the bear side, because I'm thinking our 50% retracement has been made. And if I set the pivot on the weekly chart, comes clean right up to it. Now we've formed a diamond top. Probably get one last test of about 88 bucks, maybe, and then a tip over. So I'm going to keep watching that either today or into next week. We're going to find an opportunity to short this thing, and we can run it with probably a nice, bearish put debit spread. If you wanted to sell call credit spreads close to the money, you could, but I am all about that better risk to reward ratio. So I'm usually looking for $5 wide spreads. I want to go out of the money enough to where I'm risking no more than 50 cents per spread in that. And I'm not looking for it to expire into money. I'm not looking for any of that. I'm looking for the percentage shift when the price gets closer to the strikes. And that percentage shift typically is going to put my price or my profit targets at 20, 50, and 100% very consistently. So if we get the right size move out of this pullback on Starbucks that I'm expecting, I'm thinking we could probably shoot for 100% if we do it right and we catch the right implied volatility dip and we catch the right price bracket. So I'm going to start looking at all my timeline stuff and set up all the pivots on the control bars to the left there. I'm going to look for all the big bars in that previous trend, just like we did with Ford. Mark out all the pivots, know where the targets are. Oh, I cannot talk very well this morning. And I know it's kind of gross to be sitting here sniffling, but I'd rather not blow my nose straight out on camera here, so it's kind of mean. Oh, hey. Sweet. Yeah, I'll accept your friend request and we'll get to hanging out. Thanks, man. So, at one point I was drawing these diamond patterns, and Victoria and I were talking about them. And she's like, that kind of looks like a fish. Yeah, okay, let's call them diamond fish, because I go and extend the trend lines. And oftentimes, like I've shown you guys with SPY before, when we have one of these diamonds, it almost always sets up the resistance and support later on. And look, we actually defined, with this diamond, we defined the range. There's your low. There's your high, and there's your swing back through the high. So when you draw a diamond pattern, you notice one where you get range expansion followed by range contraction. Draw your lines out and extend them, and always go to the upside as well. And anytime you find yourself riding one of these trend lines, know where the range is. The range is going to be pretty easy to define by the angulars defined by the diamond pattern itself. And you'll see them in shorter time frames too. Sometimes you'll see them and they will be a clean reversal pattern. Sometimes you'll see them as a continuation pattern. The probabilities are weird on a diamond, but almost always they will fake one way and run the other way when they're in a trend. So like here we had that's not very definable, but you can see it. You got your angular resistance, angular support, kind of hangs in space here on expansion, angular resistance on contraction, angular support on contraction, and that would have came to a point right in the middle of this control bar. This control bar would have been the fake breakout to the bear side, as if this was a diamond top reversal, and then it about face and ripped the lid off. So it's very common with a diamond pattern to see that effect, where you get a fake breakout. It'll usually hit base support or about the bottom of the diamond or the top of the diamond, depending on which direction it does the fake breakout, and it'll about face and rip the other way. So very common thing with diamonds. And how you trade them is simply with the lowest risk reward or best risk to reward ratio possible, but know exactly when to get the heck out of the way or exactly when to reverse your position. So there's some critical things you can take from it, but knowing where those lines are is going to really help you figure it out. And if you end up on the wrong side of this, it's probably because you didn't recognize that it was about to flip on you or about to change directions. So always wait for it to give you a sign. But this one's a little tricky on Starbucks. There is one thing we can do, though. We can adjust it. And if you guys watched me when I was building this one on Ford, I adjusted it several times on the output side. It started out steeper, just like this one did. And eventually I stretched it out. Always be willing to adjust your trend lines. Don't write them in stone, so to speak. You got to know that there's going to be some flexibility to this pattern. And if you adjust them right, you'll know when you do, when you see that your lines end up parallel. So when this finally accumulates the last time and breaks over, it'll come to a point. And if you look at our Ford, it came to a point, and look, there's a rising wedge right there. That's probably what we're going to see here on Starbucks. So if we look for that wedge, We know when it comes to a point, we can be in our position. And if you're in that 8-to-1 risk to reward ratio on a spread, the worst that could happen is you lose 50 bucks on a spread position. The best that can happen is you make, $400 profit on that. So that's the gist of it, is that your risk to reward ratio is going to be key. Plus you can cut that off long before you lose the whole 50 bucks. Sometimes I've gotten into these things at like 30 or 40 bucks. So it's, you can get into them pretty cheap if you know what you're doing. Just got to kind of know where your expected move is and about how much time it's going to take to get there, and try to be like above 30 days to expiration. You don't have to go beyond 45 days to expiration. So you got quite a window there to set up your spread for expiration date, and you got quite a bit of time to wait it out. So it's a matter of being patient while positioning your pieces on the board. It's like chess. You're just waiting to let the opponent make a mistake, and you're taking advantage of it, but you are already ahead of it by a few steps. So that risk to reward ratio being 8-to-1 is the important part of this, is because when you're out with that much difference between how much you risk versus how much you can make on this position, your probability of making a return is actually pretty high. And the percentage in that is pretty consistent with that. So like, let's say I risked $40 on a $5 wide spread and I closed it for $80. That's a 100% return. And it never had to get in the money, or really even near the money, to do so. Every once in a while, you get one where you get a really big move and you're ahead of it, and you do end up in the money. And if you do, you're not going to get the entire width of that spread. You still got to leave some skin on it for whoever's taking this off your hands to be able to make something with it. So you got to remember, when you're trading options, there's always a buyer and a seller, just like when you're trading equities. So when you go to take a $5 wide spread and suddenly you got in at like 40, 50 bucks, and you find it going into money, like the market just rips and your whole spread goes in the money, sometimes you might not be so quick to take that profit, but I'm telling you, if you see that, take whatever the hell you can get. So if it's like you sell that thing at like, $4.80 and it's in the money, take it. Who gives a damn about 20 bucks when your risk was $40 and you made, $480? So yeah, just don't FOMO those. Don't hold them any longer than you need to. And when you hit your target, when you're happy with your profit, take the profit. Don't sit there and expect it to be worth more. You're not in this to hold it to expiration. You have no interest in exercising the options in any way, or being assigned on an option for that matter. You'd rather just take the money between the spread that you can get on the percentage swing versus your risk. So when you guys get to that level where you're starting to trade those $5 wide debit spreads on swings, that's what you're looking for. All right, so we were talking earlier about this 4 diamond pattern, that diamond bottom. And then we look at the whole thing. And I didn't draw it out yet, but can you see it? Maybe I can draw it better on a weekly chart. So this is an entire diamond here, this whole thing. You can see you got range expansion, range compression. But look left, this is a weekly chart. So in the short term, and this is a weekly chart, so saying a short term is months, we've got potential to run to that next pivot level and retrace all of this trend. But we've been there already. That was the top of this one. Okay. What is the breakover side? Well, it was steep. It was steep here too. Came down to support. What is the height of the next resistance point? Right here. We're already there. So if Ford does not complete this breakout that it's in right now. And this is breaking out of a diamond bottom. It did break that resistance point. It did hit the second pivot, and it's about to hit the extension into this compression zone. If it rejects 1355, look back at your weekly chart and decide if you want to stay long at that point. Because if it rejects and runs down, we got a nice trend back to key support right at the bottom of that diamond. And if we get continuation, if this market really does go into recession mode fully, we've got quite a steep drop after that leg, after a little bit of accumulation here. And dude, I don't want to see Ford at $8.35, but it's not beyond the realm of impossible. It's possible. So I mean, let's and I've been a mechanic for many years. I worked on many Fords. They paid my bills for a long time because they always had little breakdowns. But you got to realize the reason why a mechanic sees so many Fords is not because they're built crappy or they're junk or they haven't spent money on innovation really since the 70s for mechanical things. It's the fact that there's so many of them. And the ratio of ones that end up in your shop is high when they're neglected. And there's going to be a big ratio of people who either really care for their cars or really don't care for their cars. So when they do break, because there's so many of them on the road, I'm going to be busy. It's like compare that to GM. Yeah, GM's the same. The kind of ratio is about the same. People who neglect them end up in my shop. I ended up working on them a lot. There was a lot of them. So the big three really, Ford, Dodge, and GM have been paying my bills for a long time. And I love working on Toyotas because they're usually easy. So, but ratio-wise, it was more about how many of them were on the road versus their competitors. So that's kind of a thing to look at. I don't want to see Ford tank. I know they're a very successful company, but if the chart tells me to go short, I'm going to go short. Chart tells me to go long, I'm going to go long. Fundamentally, I don't have to care anymore. But as far as trading the chart goes, it's all there. It all tells you where it's been and where it's likely to go. And that is one big old bearish pattern on top of a trend. So, take that with you when you look at the chart. Always look at the weekly, zoom way out, get the history of the company. This was all nice and tradable. Sure, it's a long, long time of just moving sideways, slightly down, whatever. Big sell-off into, the 2020 shutdown. Can we revisit that? Who knows? We're politically heated in this environment. We've got a lot of headwind in the market, recession fears, what have you. Sure, we can go and revisit those lows again. And then look at SPY on a weekly chart. Turn my noise off. Zoom way out. Generally, it's bullish. This is one company. This is an index. Can we revisit that weekly 200 period again? Sure, we can. I think we can hit, down as low as 352. Is it likely? Who knows? I look at the short term. Chart tells me what to do. So I'm thinking we get a repeat of this noise here. We get this, we already had this rally here. We've already had the second rally in that. I think we accumulate for a while, have a gap down, visit that weekly 200 period one more time, and then we can get back into a reversal. So for now, I think everything that's bullish in this market is simply a relief rally in a bear market. Until it finds an actual reversal for long term, I'm going to trade the volatility. Here we are hitting that extension again. Dang. 386.30. How about that? Alrighty. So anyway, I'm going to sign off of the YouTube here. I'm going to take a little break in our Discord channel.
Have a great day.
And I've got a call to make to Casper. I got to talk to him about some option stuff and kind of help him with some of the stuff he's doing with the APIs that we're going to be putting on our website. Then I got the 12 o'clock thing with Creed over on Money.net, and I think they're going live to YouTube with this one. So if you want to check out Money.net's YouTube channel as well, I'll be on there about noon. And we'll be talking about a lot of what we're seeing in this market, and just kind of going over some stuff. And I'll probably go over a lot of the stuff I went over today, as far as option strategies and stuff like that goes. But more or less, we're growing together, and we're kind of collaborating on a lot of stuff. So
I'm also out, guys. Have a good weekend. Thank you for everything, guys. Take care.
Have a good weekend, Ricardo.
see you, man. Have a great one. Whoops, let me finish this message. All right, and like I say every day when we wrap up the YouTube thing, if you guys like what we're doing, like and subscribe, hit the bell, get the notifications. We're doing this every day, and we always drop nuggets of knowledge in every broadcast. So, we're gonna be fruitful with that. But as far as our membership goes, it's like really, really low cost per month on what you get for value. And when you're inside here, we do one-on-one with our members all day long. And that's how we roll. But what's on the inside, under the hood, behind what you're seeing on YouTube is incredible. And if you guys want to check it out, even for a month, join us. You'll like what you see. All right. See you guys later. Have a great weekend.